Hello and welcome to my project, teaching DEMAP, which stands for Design, Make, and Personalize. DEMAP is an adaptive model for the humanities with a very specific focus on the literary survey course. I believe the project addresses three core elements. The first one is the problem. At the moment, currently, literary pedagogy hasn't kept with the pace of rapid progress in artificial intelligence, which I believe creates a significant gap in instructional practices in the classroom. I believe there's a clear misalignment between students' learner characteristics and the knowledge they bring to the classroom and the digital competencies that they have. Additionally, the traditional model, the read, write, interpret, discuss model, may be limiting a more active, interactive, and constructive modes of engagement, which potentially could be one major driver for declining engagement in the humanities. In addition to that, the limitations of the current curricula, which is primarily content heavy, passive, non-adaptive, is really restricting student agency, autonomy, and 21st century literacy. In response to this, I believe the map will become, or potentially it's getting built for becoming an adaptive and personalized framework for literary pedagogy. The idea is to transform these more classical literary survey courses into more interactive, constructive literature labs and studios, which I believe could become spaces for critical making, designing, experimentation, and adaptive learning. The model is scaffolded by key theoretical frameworks and personalized learning, including the ICAP framework, which stands for interactive, constructive, which are the higher levels of engagement. Currently, literature states on the active and passive modes, and the idea is to elevate those to the higher levels. In addition to that, the digital curation for personalized learning would be another companion that will enable deeper cognitive processing through 21st century digital competencies. The model, of course, is encouraging, ideally, educators to rethink how they teach literature, shifting from or changing from a more content heavy into a more dynamic student centered opportunity for students to create, design, and personalize their experiences. The theory behind DEMAP is the self-determination theory, which is based on two key learner characteristics, which are motivation and prior knowledge. These two groups, actually, they are all instructors, graduate students, will begin by exploring the experience through its three pillars: critical design, critical making, and personalized learning. Their learning goal would be that users should be able to identify the core theories behind the map and apply them through creating an artifact, for example. Let's think of a syllabus or a lesson plan as two types of artifacts, and they will also apply some of the personalized learning perspectives, including the interactive, constructive, active, and passive framework, the select, organize, integrate framework, and of course, ultimately, they should be able to evaluate the artifact they have created and compare it and contrast it with the models that they utilized in the present moment. In regards to the learning environment, the model or the experience is hosted through Qualtrics, where users will complete the experience. Last but not least, the learning outcomes are to primarily increase agency, autonomy, and interest in humanities teaching and learning, building digital competence among instructors through AI-supported personalization, and at the end is to foster motivational growth through design, making, and personalization activities. I think it is also very important that we increase the cognitive engagement, and I believe the ICAP framework can bring in its interactive and constructive modes of creation for the humanities, so that classes do not stay on active or passive levels. I believe the map can address this gap by requiring instructors to create more constructive and interactive engagement in the classroom. For instance, instead of creating lessons around listening to lectures, where students are passive receivers, the idea is that students should be encouraged to explore higher levels of engagement through creation, collaboration. I believe that AI can generate content, can generate text, can analyze data, and nevertheless, that should not be a moment where humanities scholars feel like in a term of obsolescence, or they feel like the recent developments in AI driven technologies are threatening the discipline. But I think it's the opposite. I think it's an opportunity for a renaissance in this space, so that more creation, designing, and personalization can make the humanities stay relevant and transformative in an AI era. Thank you for listening.